Alright, so, this is going to be my review of Death of Wolverine, The Logan Legacy. Now, The Logan Legacy is right after the death of Wolverine, and the five people who are most affected by Wolverine the most, the five people who are closest in his life, those being X-23, Daken, Mystique, Lady Deathstrike, and Sabertooth, the five of them are brought together by this being called Shogun, who tells them, look, there are 4 words that the man who killed Wolverine put in your brains, and we know those words, and so does everyone else. But however, they want to know these stories that happened in between of each character getting over Wolverine's death and coming to terms with it. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed this comic. Now, this 7-issue story was like a big prelude to the weekly comic book series Wolverines. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this series, this mini-series, because it was all kind of... I don't know if I'm going to pick up the Wolverines trades, because I heard that it's a weekly comic and it's kind of long. But, yeah, this mini-series, I wanted to read it the most because, yeah, it's the 5 people who, Logan was closest to, and I really want to know their stories. What happens when the best there is at what he does just up and dies. So I was really interested in finding out how they each came to terms with it, because these aren't exactly the best people who deal with emotions that well. So seeing them try to come to grips with a person they kind of were either they cared for, or for the most case for all of them in some respects hated. So it's them trying to get over it. So yeah. This the first and last issues are more or less about the story itself. The stories that are in between are just kind of like these one-shots of each character telling these one-shot stories of them dealing with these deaths. The first one is, of course, X-23. And yeah, it's her more or less being like, I feel like Logan cheated me. He cheated me because he told me I could be anything I wanted. He's dead. What do I do now? She feels like she has no future without Wolverine. Also, can I just say, am I the only one kind of weirded out that she's in a romance with the younger version of Archangel? Am I the only one weirded out by that? Are they still together, by the way? I don't know. I was just kind of like, ugh, it's a little weird. That's a little creepy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm a little creeped out by that. I gotta be honest. I'm a little creeped by that. But yeah. Also, we get the return of an Alpha Flight character that I didn't even know. I thought he was dead, honestly. Windshear, who goes by a new name, and he's basically a parody of Batman, and they have to fight this obese woman called Pink Pearl. It's awesome. Second issue is about Sabertooth. Now, the Sabertooth story is Sabertooth is in Mogadishu, and he's basically a killer for hire. And when Sabertooth discovers Logan's dead, Victor, of course, the guy who's always wanted to kill Wolverine, he didn't get the chance. He's pissed off, and he's kind of taken his... He just skipped the 5 stages of grief and went straight to anger. And yeah, he's more or less capturing people, making them dress up as Wolverine, and killing them over and over again. This story is really cool because this really gets into Creed's head of, it's kind of like the age-old story of what if Joker killed Batman? What would Joker be without Batman? It really does tell that story of, and yeah, the other thing is that Victor didn't kill Wolverine, he didn't get that chance, and now what is he without Logan? What can what is he without Logan? And yeah, I thought that was a really cool, a really cool storyline. I thought that was a really cool line of thought, really. Anyway, what was I gonna say about this? The one problem with this is that the artwork's a little blotchy, and I understand it's supposed to be kind of nightmarish, but and it took me a little while to get used to the artwork. But the story itself is really cool. The artwork might be a little choppy for everyone, and you might get a little confused with the panels. You might get it confused because they all kind of just mesh together. So that's my only gripe with it. But the Sabertooth story itself is really cool. I thought the Sabertooth story was very well done. Then we move on to Lady Deathstrike. And her story is that, Wolverine died, and he died, and before that he saved my life, and now I have to pay my goddamn life debt. This sucks. And she goes to find a relic from Wolverine's past that is being used as a cheap thing to be bet on by the Yashida clan. It's the sword of the Yashida clan. And of course we all know how the Yashida clan affected Wolverine, as we all know. But yes, Deathstrike in here takes on the Yakuza. It's really cool. The artwork is just beautiful. It feels almost manga-ish in a way. And of course, this is in Tokyo, and this is in Japan. And it's really cool. I mean, it also gives Deathstrike the same thing with Sabertooth, is that I went about my life hating the man, and what am I without him? It's the same thing with Sabertooth, is that just like Sabertooth, Deathstrike's whole life was defined by Logan. The reason why she was built was how she became Deathstrike was kind of kind of in a way with Logan. So without Logan, what is she? So she kind of makes this decision to quintessentially be like this dark guardian of Japan, just for her own choosing. I think that was pretty cool. I don't know how that went in Wolverine, so I'm just kind of going off this comic. So next up is Daken. Now, Daken did die, but he did come back. He was resurrected as a Horseman of Apocalypse during the Uncanny Avengers story arc. He was resurrected alongside Grim Reaper, Sentry, and Banshee. But Daken came back, and yeah, he's out in Mandrapore, and he's trying to find his father's remains, the last remains of Wolverine. And at the same time, we see in the present time of the story's more or less told by a Hydra agent to these government officials, quote-unquote government officials, I should say. At the same time, we see Daken burying the remains of his father, and how it's done in Japanese, a Japanese style funeral. And I thought that was really cool. Daken is more or less like, here's the thing. Daken's a character I never really cared about. Yeah, he's the son of Wolverine, but at the same time, he's just his character was kind of just written as, I'm better than you, Dad. Yeah. That's what it kind of amounted to in some cases. But recently, I feel like, especially in the second series of Daken, in the second volume before he died, they got a grip on his character. And yeah, in this issue, where Daken's trying to find Logan's remains from being taken by AIM and Hydra and all these people, he's like, yeah, I wasn't the best son, but I'm gonna do this for my dad. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And like I said, Daken was not a character I cared about until I reread the second volume of the Dark Wolverine series, Daken series. I was like, now they have a grip on his character. Oh yeah, they killed him off. Oh, they brought him back? Okay. So, especially after this, I have a strange appreciation for Horseman Daken. It's weird. Also, the artwork's beautiful in that comic, so yeah. Then we come to Mystique, who is more or less, this follows her trying to find the last piece of Destiny. Destiny was, of course, if you guys remember, was a member of the Brotherhood of Mutants, Mystique's lover, and she was also able to tell the future. She played a big part in Days of Future Past. And this is all about, Mystique trying to find out about Logan's life and trying to fulfill one more, debt to Destiny. And I thought that was a really cool story. The artwork in here is very well done. It's very gritty, and I feel like I've seen this artwork in some comic before. But yeah, it's really great. It was a really great story, and yeah, Mystique actually admits something where she says, it hurts to transform. It frickin' hurts, and I hate it, but I gotta do it. Because we always thought that Mystique could just instantly change, no problem, but no, apparently she's in a lot of pain when she transforms. So yeah, I didn't learn something new every day. All in all, the Logan Legacy is a cool little story. I got this for $5 at a bookstore when I was away at the convention. I just got this out of necessity because I really wanted to read these 5 one-shots just to be like, yeah, I want to see what the world's like, what these characters are like now that the one character that helped define each of them is gone. What are they like now? And I gotta say, it did not disappoint, at least personally for me. If you didn't like the comic, that's totally fine. No problem against you. But me personally, I really enjoyed this. So if you're looking for, if you're looking for like a series of one-shots and looking for something that is a cool take on like the 5, and it's kind of interesting because each of them in their own twisted way represent the 5 stages of grief in their own strange ways. Anyway, but yeah, I would recommend picking this up. So yeah, but you guys tell me if you've read Death of Wolverine: The Logan Legacy. What'd you guys think of it? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.